Did I tell you I got one of those from Facebook that somebody claimed ownership of one of my videos?
On Facebook?
And it was a video. Yeah, it was a video that I shot. I was messing around with the like the green screen feature in iMovie on my phone, and I put a couple of G.I. Joe astronauts in front of a green screen, and just like kind of zoomed in on them, and then used a background of like a generic space scene, like a moonscape. Mm-hmm. So they were like floating through space, and then I just used the like the free music and sound effects that came on iMovie. And this is like 8 months ago that I uploaded this thing to Facebook, and then I got a notification last week that such and such company has claimed ownership of your video, and
because you used G.I. Joe figures or something, right?
Probably.
Well, they didn't. They just said the video. They didn't say the audio or the.
They didn't give you a reason.
They didn't give me a reason, and it was some I looked up the company. It was some Spanish company, like from Spain. Some media company from Spain. So I disputed it, and I basically said, "This is not their video. I know this because I shot it."
Yeah.
And the music is the music and sound effects are free on iMovie, so they're for everyone to use. So the only thing that I don't own is the image of the moon in the background, but they don't own it either because I looked it up too. I found the image, and somebody else does own it. Mm-hmm. And then I said, and the original post was a post showing people what they can do with their iPhone, so it's educational purposes, and therefore it's fair use.
Yeah.
And the restriction disappeared, and I never heard from them ever
Well, they
again.
did a blanket thing is probably what happened, is they just did a blanket thing where they just went and tagged whatever they could in a certain amount of time frame on a day or whatever to see what it's a trolling thing. It's a patent trolling thing or a copyright trolling company.
I know.
So,
But there should be consequences. There should be consequences for that.
There should.
There should be.
I agree.
I would tell them to give me one reason, and I'll turn right back around.
Get one reason to stay here.
Exactly.
You're not
I don't know
right
Chapman thought
around.
of the show.
Man, I mean, Daniel's on it this morning.
Well, I mean, he's got the pandas in his corner.
He does have the pandas in his corner. Yep, that's right.
I got back up.
He gets feisty when he's got his boys with him.
That's right. It's black and white, though, so it's a little bit weird.
All right, well, welcome to Trekcast, ladies and gentlemen. This is the galaxy's most unpredictable Star Trek podcast, and we prove that every single week, and this week we'll really prove it if you go and try to go to our website at trekcast.com, because it ain't there.
Oh, that's right.
So, we're in the middle of redoing that. It was on Squarespace. I was paying for that myself, and I don't want to do that anymore. So we're going to do something a little different that's not as expensive, that still hopefully looks as good, and we'll go from there. I mean, it wasn't a big deal, but it was on a credit card, and you guys know how I am with social media and the government. If I could just go hold up in a bunker 30 feet under the ground and never come out, I would. So
you go live in the forest with the pandas.
Yeah, I go live in the forest with the pandas. Yeah. So I mean, I'm just tired of. I don't know. I'm just tired of society.
In communist China?
I'm tired of. Yeah, I'm tired of. Yeah. No, not there.
With the pandas?
No. That's the exact opposite of what I want. No, I'm talking like Montana mountains where it takes you 3 days just to get up to me, and you wouldn't because I've got barbed wire. I don't know. Ruby Ridge all over.
Oh, there's places like that over here.
I probably sound like a total rube at this point. I'm not, but I mean.
You don't. I think about that all the time.
Yeah, Daniel's shaking his head, and then you said you think about it all the time, as in I'm like a Ruby Ridge. Thanks, guys. I'm a nut job. I appreciate it.
No. I think about it all the time in that, I'm in New York, and people think of New York. People who are not from New York or not from, people not from this area. You go out to Montana, you tell someone you're from New York. They have a picture in their mind of New York. And it looks like the Bronx or it looks like Manhattan. Okay? Yeah. And the reality is the vast majority of the state looks more like Alabama, looks more like rural Alabama than it looks like New York City. So when I travel upstate or I travel out to Western New York, I see all these open fields and these mountains and this land, and I'm like, oh, I just want to get a mountain and put a cabin on the top of it and just get away from everybody. Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
No, over here it's weird, man. Maybe like a mile away from me is a giant mega church that has like 3,000 people, and then maybe another 2 blocks from that is farms. Just giant farms.
Yeah.
It's so weird. But
well, the mega churches around here, because the Bible Belt is just south of me, and the biggest church that's in the area in the whole state is down there in Springfield, and the name is now escaping. I've been there a couple times because we've done some men's retreats down there, but James River Church. You're talking almost 60,000 members of that church.
Jeez.
Yeah. So that's a mega church. That's insane.
That's a stadium.
Well, it is, and in fact, they don't do it all in one church. They've got 3 locations in town, and then they've got satellite locations outside of Springfield as well. That's how they have 60,000 members. You can't put all those people in one spot for a church.
So they've got 3 cubes. They've got 3 cubes, but the collective is linked.
Correct.
That's right.
Linked up.
Yep.
Is that okay? Got it.
They do the same thing with the mega church here. They've got a bunch of satellite campuses, and then they just play the sermon to all of them.
Yep, they pipe the same service. They pipe the same sermon from one to all of them. So there's one pastor over all of that. So one main speaker anyway.
Got to franchise it.
That's right. Yep. Put a Starbucks in the lobby. Charge them rent. I mean, that's what they do.
They have that.
That's what they do.
They've got that. It's nuts, man.
Is that at all of them, or just Sector 001?
Sector 001 for now. I'm sure they will expand out.
Or is it Unimatrix? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, get it right.
I can't wait for the pumpkin spice latte sermons.
Hey, I can't wait to get my first one of those tomorrow morning. I go to the airport and I'm going to stop and get one on the way up, and it's going to be glorious. So.
Oh, Chad, you're so
spice?
basic. No.
Yeah, pumpkin spice.
You're a pumpkin spice?
Oh man.
Oh God.
Oh man.
Are you gonna wear your yoga pants when you go get it?
No.
It's starting.
No.
It's starting. I went for a walk yesterday because I exercise now, but I went for a walk yesterday, and the Jolly Cow.
Sun's out, guns out, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at him. There he is. Oh my God, I almost got blinded when you did that.
Sorry.
There you go.
But the Jolly Cow, which sells soft serve ice cream, really good soft serve ice cream, they have a big billboard outside that says "Pumpkin Spice is back." Yeah. Just like, ugh.
Fall time, baby.
God.
Fall time.
Just
the Jolly Cow is such a great name.
Yeah.
It is. There's a big fiberglass cow outside.
Of course there is.
People get their ice cream and then they put their kids sitting on top of the cow because cow, horse, whatever. They take pictures of the kids. But it's funny because the cow it's actually chained up at this point because
someone's gonna take it.
it's a popular high school prank to remove the Jolly Cow.
Oh yeah,
place it somewhere else. They also bring them in for the winter.
Yeah,
when they close down.
Well, it's cold outside for the cow.
It is. It is. I don't think cows develop a winter coat.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
Did you ever see the Sinclair gas stations back in the day, and they had their logo was a big dinosaur.
Dinosaur.
A big was a Bronchiosaurus or whatever. It was the one with a big long neck.
Because that's what turns into oil.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they had one here in town, and they actually had a big, whatever you call that.
Dinosaur.
Yeah, they had the big dinosaur. I forget what do you call it. Not a statue, but I mean it was like plastered, and it looked really nice. It was huge.
It's a
statue, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's a mannequin of a dinosaur.
Yeah, a mannequin of a dinosaur. That's probably more apt.
Okay.
But it was about the size of a large
That'll be
SUV.
the third mannequin movie. The dinosaur comes to life.
Now I'm picturing a dinosaur wearing different types of jeans.
Yeah. And dating what's his name from the 80s in that show Mannequin. In that movie. Anyway. No, that used to be a popular thing too, where the kids would take that into high school and do different things with it. And one year when they and the Sinclair gas station was like, as long as you guys don't break it and you put it back, we're not going to press charges. It's fine. And then one year they broke the neck off of it, and that was when hell broke loose at that point. And us poor seniors
That's
that
when
year
their
in
T-Rex
'95,
attorney
we had
came out.
no dinosaur to go and steal and put into the high school gym. So instead, we took my debate teacher's Yugo and got it into the
Nice.
into the gym.
This is why we can't have nice things.
That's right. I mean, it took 10 of us, but we picked that thing up and walked it.
Wow.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, should we get started with the news?
Oh, I guess we should. Yeah, why not? I guess this is a show.
Yeah.
Attention all hands. It's time for Star Trek news.
All right, so our first news story comes to us from cordcutternews.com, which is weird, but whatever.
Yeah.
And Paramount Plus has announced a date for Star Trek Day 2021. It's going to be a big live stream because, of course, it is. It will be September 8th, starting at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. And it's just a bunch of different live streams of panels and show producers talking about Star Trek and the different shows out there, both past and present. It's going to be hosted by Will Wheaton, because of course it is. And also they're going to have a live orchestra that will be performing Star Trek music throughout the night. So that's kind of cool. And
That's a Wednesday,
they'll
isn't
be
it?
just doing the pan. Yeah, it's a Wednesday in the evening. There is a rumor that this is where we will get the Strange New Worlds trailer, which makes sense.
They got to give us something on that show. They've given us nothing.
Right. Well, they say that they're gonna give all sorts of like unseen footage during this. So makes sense if we get that trailer. Like that would be the crowning top. So yeah.
What time did you say it started? I'm sorry.
September 5:30 p.m. Pacific time.
Specific time.
Yeah.
Got it.
Pacific time. Yes.
I'm still doing the math in my
Videos.
head. 6:37, 7:30 Central, I guess.
8:30.
8:30 Central.
Oh, 7:30 for you. Yeah.
Pacifically speaking.
Yeah, but the pandas are getting to me.
Yeah.
All right. Next news story comes to us from TrekMovie.com. And sad news, 3 Star Trek series are leaving Netflix in September. So that's just right around the corner.
Yeah, we
Netflix.
knew that.
Huh?
We knew that was coming eventually.
Yeah.
They're just waiting for these agreements to expire.
Exactly. You got to make Paramount Plus profitable somehow. So Netflix will be saying goodbye to TOS, Voyager, and Enterprise. You'll still have DS9 on there, so that's good. But those 3 other series are going to be leaving Netflix. Doesn't look like they're going to be leaving Hulu and Amazon just yet. Those contracts are still in effect.
Yeah.
But yeah. So you have those other options as well before you go to the Paramount Plus. Or you can and watch the Paw Patrol movie. Whatever you want to do.
Oh, man. This is turning into the Paw Patrol News Network here.
I mean,
every week.
I don't know the names of the dogs, but I'm not the only one here that would know the names of the dogs. Just saying.
He's referring to a conversation we had over Messenger about Paw Patrol, and I mentioned that it was in heavy rotation here, and he asked if I could name all the pups, and I rattled them off right away.
Exactly.
Very much impressed.
I like that we're admitting that we have conversations about Paw Patrol to the listener.
You two do. You two do.
That's right. Jet's like, I have no part of this.
Stay out of it.
And our last news story comes to us from StarTrek.com, and Star Trek Prodigy has revealed 2 of its villains. So these are very much actors that you probably don't know by name, but if you saw their picture, you'd be like, oh, that guy. John Noble will be playing one of the main antagonists to the Protostar, the Diviner. We don't know much about him other than that he's trying to track down that ship, and he's after them. And he's got a sidekick named the Dreadnought. And also we have learned that the Diviner's daughter is Gwyn. And if you remember from the main characters, Gwyn is one of the main characters of the good guys. So that would be his daughter.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. The Diviner is kind of like a junk collector, they say, and the Dreadnought is a giant robot. So that's 2 robots if you're counting now for this show.
All about the robots and AI.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, they did the market research. They're like, all right, we need a lovable alien, we need a robot,
Yeah.
we need a bad adult that's chasing them.
Mm-hmm. That's their
take all
Skeletor.
that. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So there you go.
Didn't I see somewhere that Chakotay is in it now?
Yeah.
So Chakotay, yeah, we said that last week.
Oh, we did. Okay.
Yeah, that Chakotay is back.
Oh,
Don't
that's
know
right.
the
That's
extent. Yeah.
Kuchimula.
Yeah.
That's
Well, I
right.
think at the time we
forgot.
didn't know what his role was going to be or what he was, but actually in between then and now, images have come out where it's actually Chakotay. He's obviously going to be a hologram because it's a young, smooth version of Chakotay, if you want to put it that way.
See, I couldn't find if those images were actually from the show or fan made.
No, they're from the show.
Okay.
Yep. So he's going to be a hologram as well.
Okay.
Well, I mean, he could just be on the view screen. We don't know.
I guess that's true.
Doesn't necessarily.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean,
because it just fits that aesthetic of the show. So
yeah.
it looks very Pixar.
It does look very Pixar. It does. All of it does.
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
So yeah, that's all the
Yeah.
news.
All right. Cool. See you guys next week.
Yeah, exactly. We're done now.
Right back into feedback.
Hailing frequencies. Open.
So most of the feedback that I have on my end is from about the episode itself. So I'm going to double check one thing here real quick and make sure I'm not forgetting something email wise. I think I am. But and I know I don't have any voicemails. So I'll wait for the other feedback I've got until we have
Okay, yeah. So I put in the group that we were going to be talking because that's what I do, and we had a couple of questions. Steve has asked, why did Shad put green stuff on his hot dog or Shaq's?
it's like me. What? Well, it's relish.
Yeah, well, he put Shad originally, and then put the fix in it. Yeah. I'm guessing that's relish.
Well, he did say
Yeah.
he lost his sense of taste.
What are we talking about? Who are we talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shax.
The
Who's
security
Shax?
officer
The
Who
guy
came
that
back to
came
life.
back to life.
in this episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All
Which
right.
I got a lot of things to say about that.
Well,
but anyway. So.
Oh yeah.
Is it Hasperat? Is he putting something Bajoran?
Well, it's
on
because
his
he got
hot dog?
COVID and lost his sense of taste.
Perhaps
so,
jalapenos.
and smell. So he's got to put spicy stuff on it.
Yeah.
So he got COVID-19
Yeah,
in the
something.
25th
I don't
century?
know.
Is that...
Out of all the explanations they gave for how he came back, anyway, I
Yeah.
got thoughts about that. We'll get to it. I got that email pulled up whenever you're ready.
Yeah. That whole subplot was a little
Oh man.
confusing.
Oh man.
But
Yep.
We'll talk about it. I also posted in the group images of the Star Trek collector plates, and a lot of people have posted their
nice.
collection, and
Nice.
it's pretty great. So, if you go to our Facebook group, Trekcast, you will see all sorts of collector plates. So there you go.
I have a lot of collectibles. I can honestly say I have zero collectibles that I can eat off of. Let's put it that way.
Would you want any of those?
No.
No.
It just it's one of those things where I guess I just don't get it.
Mm.
I don't see the appeal. I don't know. Some collectors are weird. I deal with a lot of collectors of a lot of different things because I buy and sell a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
I buy tons of stuff that I have zero interest in myself just because I know, buy low, sell high.
Right.
You see
Right.
something that's for sale drastically under market value, I pick it up and flip it. And there's different kinds of collectors. There's people that collect things because I collect the things that I like. There's people that collect things because, hey, I had this when I was a kid. I would like to have it again.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people who zero in on a certain franchise. And if it's got the name of that franchise on it, they need to own it. Like everything. Like, you know, I don't know, socks. Oh, I gotta have one of each. You know, they see Star Trek socks at Walmart. Oh, I gotta find one of each. They buy everyone. So, you know, I don't get the whole collector plate thing, but other people must, because they've sold a zillion of them over the years. I see them all over the place.
I could see it. I could see the appeal from my end if I was going to have a case, you know, where I was going to have just a showcase type of case, and I had everything about, you know, the Enterprise, the ship itself, right? I'd want a plate on one side. I'd want a light hitting that plate. I'd want the actual model of the Enterprise. I might want, you know, Jean-Luc's bust in there. You know, as part of the decoration is to make it a showcase piece. I could see a plate as a backdrop for that. That would make sense to me. Eating off of it, no, that doesn't make any sense to me at all. With that said, I used to have a lot of glasses when I was a kid, Star Wars wise, and a few Trek ones as well when I was a kid. And I used to always drink out of only those glasses. I would refuse to drink out of anything other than those. So I don't know. I was weird as a kid. So, but
just as a kid.
Oh, I'm weird now. Yeah. So no, I am. So.
But there are like completists out there who, you know, if there's 5 in a set, they got to have all 5. And my personal collection of things, I'm not like that at all. You know, if there's 5 in a set and 2 of them are stupid, then I buy 3 of them.
So what you're saying is, if the figure set includes Kess, you don't want the set.
No. I want Kess, but if they have, you know, let's say they have, there's a million Worfs out there. There's Worf. You know, there's Worf in this uniform, Worf in that uniform, Worf in this Klingon uniform, Worf in this different Klingon uniform, and then Worf in this different Klingon uniform. I don't need all those.
Right.
I don't need all those.
You don't need Worf in his wedding
ceremony. I collect a lot of GI Joes. I kind of, when I was a kid, I got off that train around 1987. Well, the line continued until 1994. I don't have any of those because I have zero attachment to them, because I didn't have them when I was a kid. So I don't feel the need to go out and acquire them. But there are collectors out there that, nope, I got to have everyone. I have zero emotional attachment to these 247 figures, but you know what? I got to have them all. So I'm going to go spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on them. Okay. I'll sell them to you. But I'm not gonna keep them for myself. That's what I meant about there's 2 different, you know, there's different types of collectors.
Is there like a specific franchise that, like, if you get items of it that you know this is going to sell immediately?
Well, the 80s are very hot.
Oh yeah.
Right now. So honestly, not to keep going back to GI Joes, but the prices on them have tripled over the last 4 years or so. Yeah. So that stuff. Yeah. If you come upon that stuff, it's gonna. I buy broken stuff all the time, just to sell the parts for people who are trying to complete, you know, other ones. But and then the opposite is true. You know, there's people out there who they go to a yard sale, they see Star Wars figures, and they say, "Oh, Star Wars is worth its weight in gold," and they buy a bunch of Star Wars stuff, and they try and sell it for, you know, hundreds or thousands of dollars. But the truth is, so much of that stuff was made that, you know, this stuff is not worth very much. If you have this stuff, the stuff that they made in 1985 when the interest was waning, and you know, they made less of it. Yeah, that stuff is worth a lot of money. But you know, to say this franchise, that franchise, you kind of have to be more specific.
Okay.
Than that.
It's the item.
Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome to Collector Cast.
Oh, people love this stuff.
Nah, it's okay.
Yeah.
So I got the one email pulled up. I did get one.
So any of our listeners, if you're in Mom's attic or Dad's basement, you find some GI Joes, hit me up.
Warning, nerd alert, nerd alert.
That was perfect. That was
Very
just I
much.
couldn't help it.
Sorry, the Ferengi in me just
No, that's okay.
couldn't
I
resist.
should have a clip of someone, Quark or somebody, saying something about profit is eternal or something. Greed is eternal.
Greed
yeah.
is eternal.
That would be
Greed
played
is
for me all
eternal.
the time. Anyway,
Yeah.
we did get an.
See, even Quark knew he should have left his Marauder Mo action
Even
figures
he
in the
knew
original
that,
package.
yes.
He said that in that one episode. He knew that.
That was
Yep.
a great
He knew.
episode. Anyway, so we did get an email back from Taryn Abear. So Taryn was referencing this miss of his Stargate, not Stargate intro, and I missed it. It wasn't that it got deleted or overlooked by Daniel. So his response to this was, so if you say you missed it, but you are always wrong, then logic dictates that you did not miss it, and you are not always wrong. By the way, I'll make sure to enunciate. So that's why I did. It's always funny.
That's
And
awesome.
I did get my nickname on Discord change. Instead of just saying Chad, it now says Chad is wrong. So, I mean, we're just all in over there on the Discord channel. So, at any rate, that's it on the feedback. I don't think there's anything else there that we need to go over.
No.
And we can get right into our topic.
Talking about Star Trek in this week's topic. Talking about the Star Trek in this week's topic.
All right, and of course it's Lower Decks, episode 3. We'll always have Tom Paris. So I'm gonna keep doing that. It's too funny. Anyway, man, there's a lot in this episode. This is one of those ones where I kind of just sat back and thought to myself, like,
sweet Jesus.
there are so many references. I mean, this we know that this what this show is. This show is nothing but fan service at this point. Constant throwbacks to
it's fan service
references
show.
to all the series, self-referential, poking fun at their own plot holes and things that they do. But this one, I think this is probably other than the very first episode of Lower Decks, where Mariner just irritated the shit out of me because she was just talking way too fast. This is probably the first one I've watched where I was kind of walked away from it and thought, it was good. Don't get me wrong. It was good. I enjoyed the Tom Paris stuff. I thought there was a lot of funny moments, all of that. But this is just the first one where I'm kind of like, this is all there is. It's just, I mean, and I think my biggest problem with it, out of everything, is Shax, and I hope they fix that in the next episode somehow and explain what the hell happened there. Not that I want to know how he's back alive again, but now this is twice where major plot developments that have happened either throughout the season or in the very last episode, like Boimler going to the Titan and Shax dying, that they've just undone way too easy. And I guess it's not really a serious show, so I guess that's where it is. But it confuses me because we have, what's his name? Kalon or whatever. He's the new security chief, right? He's literally on the bridge when Tom Paris walks in. He's on the bridge when Tom Paris is, piloting the ship. But yet Shax is walking around as head of security as well. So you can't have two heads of security at the same time. So, but they're both there. So,
I mean, you can on the Orville.
Yeah. So I don't know. It just
And maybe that's
so
what
that
pointing
that
out.
was my.
Why? How are there two heads of security in the Orville?
They replaced
Well, that
it.
one girl never really quit. She's sick, so she's got to stay on her planet.
Yeah, so they replaced her with the other one. They were never two at the same time. But in this episode,
Right,
they got
right,
two
right.
at the same time walking around. So it just kind of sat funny with me. I mean, it's a small nitpicky thing, but it just kind of sat awkward with me.
Well, I mean, Odo was chief of security, and then they had what is it? The other
Eddington,
guy,
yeah.
Eddington. They were both
And that
chief
was
of
a
security.
problem, wasn't it?
Yeah, but But that was a blended.
Mhm.
That was a blended crew.
And that was a problem.
You're right.
It didn't work. Odo hated that. So I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not saying that there's like no precedent for it. I'm not saying that like there's no explanation for it. I'm just saying that kind of sat funny with me in this episode. That's one of my biggest gripes. So with this episode.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dan.
No, I was just gonna say I agree. I'm wondering if it's like they're referencing the nature of the show in that they're the lower decks. They don't get to know
Right.
all the why. They don't always get to know the answers, and since the show is seen through their eyes, we as the viewers don't get to know the answers either.
I mean, didn't they say that?
Yeah, they did
Like
say
that's-
that, and I'm on one hand, I'm fine with that. Like that part, I don't. That part doesn't matter to me. That part's okay because that's what they've set this show up as lower deck crew not always getting the answers and never knowing. It always looks like the upper staff, the senior staff, are idiots and don't know what they're doing. But at the end of the day, it all kind of works out, kind of thing. That's fine. That's fine. That part doesn't bother me. What bothers me is we had the death of a character that had some meaning and had some impact, and they just short shrift. Now he's back again, right? It's kind of the same thing they did with Boimler, where he was on another. How are they going to get Boimler back, right? And they instead of this, complicated story to get him back, they took a cheat basically with his clone, and now they're doing the same thing with Shax, where he's just back. And I get it, right? It's a cartoon, for crying out loud. It's a lighthearted, self-referential. Let's have some fun and all of that, but it just kind of stuck funny with me. So that's all. The rest of the show is fine. So
Yeah.
did I just kill the whole vibe here or what?
I liked it. I didn't overthink it. Yeah.
And we might find out at some point.
We might.
Yeah.
And we might not. And it'll bother Chad all the way to his grave. And I'm cool with that too.
But Daniel, you enjoyed it?
Yeah, I thought it was dumb fun. I don't
Yeah,
overthink this show. Like I just expect it to be goofy. Like they're gonna do whatever they want, and it's fine.
No,
To me, it's more like Star Trek sketch comedy than
you're right.
Than an
I mean, at the
actual
end of the
show.
day, you're correct, and I shouldn't take it serious, and I really don't. But at the same time, it's a nitpicky thing. So
Yeah.
I do like the fact that we finally get Tindy and Mariner together on their own away mission, and they both realize, as the rest of us have, that the two of them have never done anything together, just the two of them before. Like they don't even know each other's like names or. And the whole time they're trying to save this cat scratch post for the doctor.
Yeah.
And that's not what she wants. She just wants the box. I mean,
if it fits,
great.
it fits.
That was awesome. After all of that, they just want the box. So it did bring up some funny.
Mariner cracks me up.
Yeah.
She's like, hey, there's always a solution. I'm just gonna ram the shuttle into the shields.
And then it just bounces.
And it was it's the thing is broken, right? And she just did the super ultra 25th century equivalent of, hey, it was like that when I got here.
The dog ate my homework. Oh my gosh, that was hysterical.
They didn't really do a lot with Nick Locarno there.
They didn't do anything with him. I was really disappointed with that entire thing.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny when he kicked the shit out of Boimler because he looked like a Kazon.
Yeah.
But that's about it. That's about it. And I'm confused about the whole uniform thing on this show.
Yeah.
They're wearing, everyone on the Cerritos is wearing what is supposed to be the standard Starfleet uniform of this time period, which we've seen in Picard. Except Riker and everybody on the Titan is wearing the First Contact style uniform, which I love. I love that uniform. So you're like, all right, well, maybe that's a Riker thing. And then here Nick Locarno shows up and he's wearing it too.
And didn't they do his
I don't know.
cartoon-ishness a little young? Another nitpick, but I mean, shouldn't he be a little older?
Yeah, but I mean the character is supposed to be an immature
Yeah.
boy. You know, that's his
character,
personality
yeah.
type. So I think they were drawing him based on his personality type.
Mhm.
But I mean, they missed the opportunity for a Nick
They
Locarno
did.
joke.
An
I was
obvious.
kind of
Yeah, that was right
I
there,
was
man.
kind of disappointed about
Yeah.
that.
I predicted that they would miss that.
And
but,
he didn't really do any.
uh-uh.
He didn't really do anything except tour the ship and then kick the shit out of Bormar.
It didn't make sense to me why he's
So-
there other than just, I mean, a morale boost. Like, okay.
I mean, it just sounded like he was
Yeah,
there
yeah.
just to be
He's
there.
got- so Tom Paris has
Yeah.
nothing else to do with his time now that he's back from the Delta Quadrant than to go around and tell jokes and, whatever with people.
I mean, are you really gonna want to, like, after that trip? Do you really want to get on another spaceship and be like, "Yeah, let's go fly
Yeah,
around. Let's go
that's
see what's
true.
up."
That's true.
Yeah.
You want to retire after that?
Yeah, no. If Starfleet was like, we're going to send you on a
Yeah.
speaking tour.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll go to
True.
a couple ships a month.
I
Shake
did
hands.
like when they
Shake
said,
hands, kiss babies.
hmm I did enjoy when they were like, "Is he
That
still a
was great.
salamander?"
Speaking of which, if he's doing that, how come Balana's not with him? If he's doing a speaking tour, how come he's not bringing his wife or his baby, right? His kid. That would have been great.
Well, this is new Trek.
Yeah,
This is new Trek. So she's an admiral at this point, and he's just a
Yeah,
lieutenant
yeah.
senior grade. Because if you looked at his rank, he's only advanced one level since they got
Yeah.
back from the Delta Quadrant.
well, he's too busy creating Fairhaven too.
That's true.
Yeah, so
That's true.
I like how they
Yeah.
did the voy reference. He just calls it voy.
oh yeah.
Then she's like, "That sounds dumb." Then she does and goes, "Oh, that does save a lot of time. That's great."
Well, I think what they're referencing there is that nobody abbreviates Voyager. They nobody abbreviates it
Right.
in their speech. They abbreviate it when they write it, but nobody
Right.
abbreviates it in their speech. I say DS9. I say TNG.
Mhm.
I don't say Voy because it sounds stupid. Just like I don't say
Int.
ENT for Enterprise. Yeah, ENT.
Nah, that was good.
Yeah.
I like it. There's always so many. I mean, it's just chock full of stuff. It's great. I mean,
Yeah, I could probably
Yeah.
watch it again and pick up some other things that I.
let's
that
hope
I
it's
missed.
not a. We had a couple of people will make comments in our feedback over in the Discord about how it felt a little bit like a throwaway episode. Like they didn't use the Paris thing to their full, like you were saying, Dan. They didn't use Tom Paris to the full effect. Should have used him in more scenes for certain things, and I agree. And I don't know. Maybe it won't be a throwaway episode if they do more with Shax in the next one, right? If, it could be that what were the name of those aliens in the when they were basically parasites in season 1 TNG, where they were overthrowing the government from the inside out, and then we never heard from them again.
Oh. Yeah, I remember.
I
I
forget
know
the
what
name
you're
of that
talking
episode,
about.
but anyway, it could be one of those things where in the very next episode we realize that everybody on the ship except for the Rutherford with the cybernetic implant. Well, I guess we had the one guy. We had the one guy who ended up getting kicked off the ship because he asked in front of everybody, like, "What the hell are you doing here? You're dead." In engineering, anyway. But maybe he's the only one who remembers or thinks it's weird or odd or questions it, and then we come to find out that that's not really Shax. That's an imposter or something that's brainwashed everybody. I don't know. Could be
Q.
It could be certain scenes are only happening in Rutherford's head.
Yeah, it could be
as well, because he's had some
Yeah,
issues with his implant. So
Oh,
I'm
man,
not saying
lower
I'm
deck
not saying
Inception.
I'm not saying he imagined the whole
Yeah.
episode, but I'd have to go back and watch and see. Okay, the episodes that revolve around this, do they intersect with certain other things, or are they kind of isolated where you can remove them from the episode and the rest of the episode plays out normally? Like does Shax, does he interact with Tom
No,
Paris
I don't think
at
so.
all?
I don't think so.
Well, again, maybe that's happening in Rutherford's head.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
They could do anything at this point with it and make it make sense or not make it make sense, or
Yeah.
just have the Kazon guy, or not the Kazon guy, but what's his name? Kalor or Kalon. What the hell's the guy's name? The new security chief. Jerry. Yeah,
Jerry.
it
Doesn't matter because you get it wrong
Yeah.
3 more times
Yeah,
anyway.
they just have
so,
Jerry
you know.
off the ship in the next episode. It'll be Shax, and everything's back to normal,
Jerry.
right? So
Yeah.
it could
Yeah.
be Doug in the elevator,
It's
right?
Marion.
And
Yeah.
with the elevator music, Doug from Orville.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Doug.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, isn't it Dan?
Yeah, okay.
That was Dan. Hi,
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Dan.
I'm Diane.
Hi.
Doug, you're thinking
Yeah,
of the
that's
Limu
what it
Emu
is.
guy.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy. Oh,
Doug and Limu.
these commercials annoy the
Oh,
shit
they're
out of me
great.
every time.
Limu,
Those are awesome. You see
Yeah.
the emu on the
Doug.
treadmill.
Yeah, I saw that one. They played like 8 of those commercials
Oh,
at the
geez.
movies last night.
Limu, you're an animal.
Yeah.
So they're FaceTiming, and then he accidentally puts the filter on. It makes him look like another emu, and he starts pecking the screen. Like, wait, hold
Yeah, it's great.
on. Anyway,
No.
no.
No bueno.
Bueno.
Daniel's just gonna go back to playing poker. Go back to the casino
I know.
that we didn't get
Yeah.
to go to in Vegas.
I know it's sad.
That's
Sad
all right.
bandit.
We'll go.
Yeah, April.
Yeah, we'll go.
We'll go to a casino.
Well, April, we can go to Chicago.
April. What's April?
Yeah.
Is that the Chicago one? They have
Nope.
casinos in Chicago? No.
They have the best pizza.
Eh,
I'm gonna
I don't know if
Google it
Chicago
right now.
has the best pizza. I'm going to say something very controversial right there. I don't know if Chicago has the best pizza.
They do not. They do not.
What pizza would you
I
go
don't
with,
know, but
Chad?
I'm not like a huge fan of the deep dish where it's just, here's a mountain of cheese with your bread and sauce, right? I'm just not I'm not really a fan of that.
So my absolute favorite is stuffed crust.
With the mozzarella inside the crust, inside the back part. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff. That's the best.
I don't know. I mean, when I go to Wichita every once in a while, I go to the Wichita Brewing Company where they brew their own beer and they also brew their own alcoholic root beer. So the place smells fantastic, and they make a grilled cheese pizza, which to some of you might sound disgusting. Boy, it's good.
I mean, isn't that just a calzone?
It's close. Yeah, I mean, isn't it all a calzone? It's either open or closed, right? I mean, so
Yeah.
Oh my God, you
is
guys are
pizza
killing
really
me.
a sandwich without a top?
What?
Yeah, there are casinos in Chicago.
Okay, cool.
Just
Oh,
saying,
nice.
There
Okay.
are casinos in Chicago. If they're not in the city proper,
On the
there
water?
are within driving distance.
Okay. We can go
There
look
you
for
go.
Batman
Yes, at the roulette table.
at the roulette. That's right.
Bruce Wayne, you mean, at the roulette table with a woman on either arm?
No. I'm wearing a Batman mask.
Yeah, Batman.
So, that's it.
Oh God.
He's looking for
Just
justice.
blackjack.
Yeah.
Say, hit me. Double down.
I fold. Anyway. All right.
awesome.
What else about this show?
Anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's a
Yeah.
half-hour show.
Well, no, I
man.
mean, is there any other references we found funny or anything else we want to talk about it before we?
I mean, I got a list
Yeah,
of
go
Easter
for it.
eggs here, but
Tendy's
none
a
of them are that
bitch.
great.
Tendy's a bitch when she's around
She's
other
awesome.
Orions.
Yeah.
She flips her Orion
There were-
switch and just becomes vicious, like kicking
There
people
were
in the
so
face.
many double standard things that they said about the Orions there. It made your head spin, but it was hysterical. The whole we're not all pirates. Oh wait, my uncle's on the pirate base. We can go.
Mm-hmm.
When she's in
Yeah.
green face, and she's
Yeah.
like, I don't know, this just
Yeah.
feels wrong.
She's fake green. After
Oh
her.
my lord!
Oh Lord, it was pretty good. I'm not one of those kind. I can't do the
Yeah.
pheromones.
Yeah, it was
I'm not
good
one of
to
those
see- it was-
kinds of
it-
Orions. Well, what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy how they didn't shy away
Yeah.
from doing some risque humor, making
Yeah.
a blackface joke in a Star Trek
Yep.
cartoon comedy.
They certainly don't, which is great. That is
So-
one of the great things about the show. They do not shy away from they don't pull their punches when they come to those jokes, and they're not afraid to drop an F-bomb or
Yeah,
whatever
they don't.
either, a cuss whenever they feel like that's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
They don't do it as much anymore. They did it a lot in the first season, I feel like, or the first couple of episodes of the first season, and they've toned that down, which is I'm fine with from the standpoint of if you're going to use it, but at least have some impact instead of it be every other word, like Smurf, because that's what it becomes at that point. Is just you say Smurf for everything. Or squanch, and no one knows what it means.
Apparently, there was a Quark's bar sign.
What is swerve?
Squanch.
What'd you say? Squanch? What is squanch? Oh, all right. Never mind. Go ahead.
There was a Quark's bar sign.
Yeah, it's the franchise now.
The Fontaine as well, right next to it. Yep.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yep, right next to Quark's.
Yeah.
That's because that's really a background thing that's just always there in all the shows at this point now, or should be. I mean, it's there in Picard. It's there in Lower Decks now. So should be in season 2 of Picard somewhere. Just background. That would be funny to see a conversation between Quark and Q. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would be interesting. I think Q would find him boring because
Quark would probably be annoyed at him too. Big time.
Yeah, probably.
Quark would try to bribe a god, and that would be interesting.
Or try to get something out of him, like, hey, if you can just snap your fingers and make a bunch of latinum appear, that'd be cool.
That's the only thing you'd be talking about is how much latinum can you just pile over in that corner real quick.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
What other Easter eggs did you have pulled up that you found?
I mean, it's all stuff we've talked about.
So nothing obvious that we've missed.
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
No, nothing obvious.
When we do this, it's like, I'm sure everybody listening to this knows by now, we wing these things. We don't sit down and come up with any kind of a script, or we don't sit down and try to, I don't even take notes of things I want to try to remember to say. It's just a matter of we just off the cuff this every episode. So, from one standpoint, that's part of what makes this show great. From the other standpoint, I hate it like 3 hours later. Oh, crap. I was going to say this and I forget it. And so I just, whatever. And I'm sure I'll do that today no matter what.
I did have one question. Happens. So right now we've got the Marvel What If animated show, and we've got Lower Decks running, and they're both 3 episodes in. At this point, which season do we like better?
Any of the What Ifs, so I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Okay, then yeah.
Go ahead, Dan.
I don't know. I'm enjoying What If, but they've been kind of anticlimactic too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And I know we talked about doing a What If style Star Trek animated show. And the more I think about it, it would probably be the same thing where it's anticlimactic. And instead, I think they should do the same kind of show, but not What If. It's just, standalone stories that are occurring in the main timeline, just something we didn't, we've never seen before. And I floated this idea before, but I still think it's a good idea. And I think What If kind of is proof of concept for it, that you can have a 30-minute episode, animated episode, or they don't have to be 30 minutes. You could do a 45-minute episode, standalone episode, takes place during season 5 of TNG, and it's a big deal because Patrick Stewart is coming back to do his voice, and Jonathan Frakes is coming back, but Marina Sirtis is not available, so we're going to use this sound-alike voice, which is what they're doing over there with What If. Some of them are the actual voices, and some of them are sound-alikes. And, they could do just self-contained stories that occur during this time period that we've never seen before, or they can expand on things that we have seen in the past, or even go beyond and do a Deep Space Nine Season 8 story, or a Voyager Season 8 story, or, see some serious stories with Riker.
I'm down to see some Captain Nog.
Yeah.
Captain Nog, yeah. Yep. And it doesn't even have to be Starfleet. They can do some, they could do a 44-minute Klingon episode about, that time when Gowron and Duras were feuding, and there were battles going on between Klingons, and we can, I don't know, show us some other house that we've never, the house of whatever that we've never seen before, and come to find out that Gowron was only successful because he had the support of this house that we've never heard of. They could do so many different things. I'd love to see some post Deep Space Nine Ferenginar stories. What's going on in Ferenginar?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
There were a lot
Grand
of
Nagus
changes.
or Rom?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. There were a lot of changes introduced in the last few episodes of Deep Space Nine, and we've never really seen the outcome of those things. And to reassemble that whole crew and recreate all those old sets and shoot new episodes, it's not going to happen. We know it's not going to happen. But to do it animated, the people are still there to lend their voices if they want to. If they want to do that,
someone who has a voice similar,
and honestly, and honestly, some of them need the work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to be mean.
No.
I'm not trying to be mean at all.
If they want the work, yeah.
Chase Masterson, what else is she doing? If they invited her to come back and lend her voice again, of course she would do that. Most of the Ferengi crew would definitely come back and do that. The ones that are still with us. So I think a good gauge for that is if there's a personality that's at the Vegas convention every year, like they never miss it. I think that's a good gauge to would they want to be a part of this project.
I think that's the main reason why I haven't tuned into the What Ifs. Number one, time, but I haven't made the time to watch any more of them, specifically because they have no weight. Right? I mean, it's it's fan fiction, is what it is, made by the actual creators of the content. Right? So, then while I have nothing against that, and I think that's cool to sit and think about and ponder, because guess what? That's what we do on this show. I don't think I'd want that for Trek. That's part of what I liked about the short treks was they did have some sort of impact, or at least they all turned out to have some sort of impact or tie-in eventually into the main franchise as a whole. That's part of the appeal to those. And if they were going to do something like that on the animated side, I'd want it to have a different look and feel than Lower Decks to separate it out. More of maybe an anime, kind of like what they're doing with What If a little bit. But I'd want it to have some impact, and I'd want it to have some real stories. And it doesn't have to be, it'd be more of an anthology thing like we've talked about, which was initially what Discovery was going to be. At least that's what they said it was going to be way back in the day when they first announced that it was going to be an anthology series that took place at different points in time throughout all of Trek history. And of course they totally threw that out the window, which they shouldn't have, but whatever. Here we are now. And all you want to say about Disco and everything else, it has been a success for CBS, whether we like it or not, like the show itself or not. It has been a success, enough of a success anyway, that they felt comfortable launching all this other stuff we've got now. So,
I just want Star Trek Claymation.
Robot chicken.
I'm thinking like the Christmas one with the heat miser and all that. Yeah.
Yep. No, I think that would be cool. I mean, I'd love to see some filler of all them. We've talked about this several times. Hell, I even wrote a little short story that I put up on the website that's not there anymore about, something happening behind the scenes at a major historical Starfleet event, like the Battle of Wolf 359, like all the stuff that happened during the Dominion War that we don't get to see. What's going on with the Enterprise during all of that? What's going on with that crew during all of that? What's going on in the Mirror Universe when the final battle's taking place there with the Klingons coming back to Terok Nor or whatever it was.
What's up with Flaughter?
What?
the kids holodeck program? What was his name? Flaughter?
Warning! Nerd alert! Nerd alert!
I recall that.
That's right.
I recall that. Yeah.
Flaughter is like it's like the 24th century Paw Patrol.
Although I always found that a little creepy for some reason. I don't know why. It was
very weird.
It was creepy.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's more like Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
But anyhow. Yeah.
Kinda.
Oh God, my son is obsessed with
Oh,
Five Nights at
jeez.
Freddy's right now.
Oh, really?
Everything is FNAF because that's how you say it.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's FNAF.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
my
man.
Lord.
I've been there, done that.
Yeah, that's
What's
all right.
worse, that or Paw Patrol?
Oh, that's worse.
Yeah, that's worse because it's literally about
Yeah,
murder
yeah.
robots.
Yeah. That's
Which
fair.
I'm like, all right, if I'm gonna expose them to murder robots, let's watch
Yeah.
Terminator.
Yeah.
Mhm.
let's not watch Five Nights at Freddy's.
We'll skip one specific scene in Terminator, but the rest of it you can see, son.
Yeah.
Mhm. There's a Five Nights at Freddy ripoff movie starring Nick Cage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like Welcome to Wonderland or
Oh.
something like that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's pretty dumb but pretty great at the same
Doesn't
time.
Nick? I mean, that guy. Doesn't he make like 4 movies a year, and they're all like the worst B movies ever? But he still makes money doing it somehow.
He
Surprisingly,
has
every
to.
now and then he gets a good one.
He has to because he spent
Oh yeah.
all of his money. He's like terrible. He's terrible with money. They foreclosed on homes, so he has a massive amount of debt, and to his credit, he's paying it down by working harder. That's what a normal person would do. I got to put in some more hours at work to pay off my credit card bill, and that's what he's doing. And he's making, instead of making one good movie a year, he's making 4.
Every once in a while, he gets a
movies
hit out of it, though.
But he still has the name recognition where he can, actually garner a decent paycheck doing it, and he's paying down his debt. So good,
Yeah,
good
I
on
don't begrudge
him.
him anything for that.
Meanwhile,
he's the Wesley Snipes without the tax evasion.
Bruce Meanwhile, Bruce Willis is living the dream. He's actually licensed out his image to like a company in Russia. So like they use a lookalike and then CGI his face onto it, so he doesn't have to shoot anything, and he just goes into a recording studio, records the words, the audio, and then they dub it in.
Yeah.
I've heard some strange stuff about him too. Like when he signs on for different projects, it's like, okay, you have him for X number of days, and it's a ridiculously short amount of days that you have him for, and that's it. And if you don't get your shots, well, fuck you, your movie's gonna suck. So it's like, they shoot all this other stuff, and then when the Bruce Willis days happen, it's like everything else shuts down. Everything else shuts down, and it's like, all right, we've got 2 days to get our Bruce Willis shots. And they do it, and then he leaves, and that's it. You never hear from him again. There's no pickups, there's no audio redubbing, nothing.
I mean,
I'm done.
If you can
Give me my
garner
money.
that kind of work, set up, wouldn't you? I mean, to some degree.
Well, he's supposed to be an artist, and if you're doing it that way, then you no longer respect the work.
Yeah, there's something to be said for that too. I can see that point. Yeah. Yep.
Whatever.
Hey, they're all there to make money, whether they're artists or not. They're all there to make money. That's why they do it. And they and in some ways, in shapes and form, they're a little bit of narcissists. They want the attention. They want the limelight. They need that. So, and
a lot of them have
lost
a lot of work over the last year and a half too.
Yeah.
So, and and they've had to either adjust their lifestyles or adjust their
Where was it that I read that Robert De Niro, even though he's in his like mid to late 70s, has to make $20 million a year or he's broke. He can't stop. He has to make $20 million a year or he loses everything he has. Because that's how much he has to expend, not only for houses, but alimony, past marriages, all of it. All of his expenses.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He has to make $20 million a year just to break even and not fall apart.
Well, then that means he has too many expenses.
No kidding. Yeah.
Honestly, you don't need 40 houses.
Well, I think a big chunk of that is his ex-wife.
Probably.
But even then, that's alimony is and child support and all that. It's a percentage
Yeah.
of what you make.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So,
I think even his ex-wife still has like the black. I remember reading this. She has a black MX card that is part of her settlement that she gets to use and charge whatever she wants onto it every month, and he has to pay it off. And the typical charges are anywhere from $50,000 to $75,000 a month.
Jeez.
What a life!
and that's one of those
like
things where it's like, you know what,
Yeah.
you cut off the card.
Yeah,
You figure
yeah,
it
we'll
out
go to
later.
court.
Hey, I'm cutting you off. If you want to take me
Yeah,
to court,
figure it out
take me
later.
to court. But I'm cutting you off. I'm telling you, noon
Yeah,
tomorrow,
yeah.
the card is no good. Go get a job.
Mm-hmm.
I will have no credit cards by this week.
What-
They had zero balance on them anyway. When I stopped paying on the website, because that's what I was doing, I'm cutting that thing up here this week once that final payment goes through. So for $16.
Yeah.
If you spend $50,000 to $75,000 a month, and you don't have a job, you are a piece of human garbage. I'm sorry. If you contribute nothing to the world, but you spend $75,000 a month of someone else's money, you're a piece of human garbage.
Just
So-
what would you spend that
getting
money on?
someone's getting paid.
Like,
I
that
don't know.
money. I agree, and I also disagree.
Yeah.
Right, from the standpoint of someone is earning a living off of that person spending that money. Period. Multiple people.
Yes,
are
that's
earning
to
a living
pay.
off of that.
That's to pay for her. Yes, that's to pay for her
Yep.
her drivers. That's to pay for her maids. That's to pay for her servants. That's to pay for her
Yep.
getting her hair
Yep.
did every day, getting
Yep.
her nails done every day. Okay,
or
you
Spotify.
know what? Let's come back to real life.
I'm not
No,
wrong,
but I
and
mean,
you
that's
know it.
$14.99 out of all.
Hey, it all adds up, man.
She's got all the streaming
Yeah.
services.
That's
That's where it all goes.
yeah.
That's where
She's
it all
like,
goes.
she's like, they're getting rid of Star Trek on Netflix. Now I gotta get Paramount Plus.
She's the one person that subscribes to Crackle Premium.
There you go.
In Title. She's the only other. She's self-supporting Title.
Yeah, there you go.
She still pays for
yeah,
AOL.
AOL Instant Messenger. Yeah. Oh Lord, could you imagine trying to keep track of that kind of spend every month when you in all over the place with all these different things? I mean, you'd have to hire an accountant to do it. So there's an accountant making a monthly paycheck off of that. You know what I mean? So that's the thing about money.
There's an app that you can download that'll find out what streaming services you're still paying for that
frickin'
you don't even
stupid
realize.
You have to have that app. I mean, seriously, what the fuck?
I know.
How dumb do you have anyway? See, this is. I get back to this. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing. I am simplifying
When the zombies
my
come.
life. I am simplifying things, all the way to the point to where,
When the zombies come, she'll
Yeah,
be the
yeah,
first one to go.
all the way to the point to where, I don't have to track my spending. I don't have to track my spending at all anymore, versus the family, whatever we have to buy for the family, because I give myself an allowance every week. I pull out a $20 bill from the ATM every Friday, and I put that in my wallet. And that is the money I get to spend out of my personal account for that week, from that Friday to the next Friday. Whether that's not gas, because the company pays for my gas when I'm traveling. That's not my light bill, because that comes out of the checking account automatic, whatever. I'm just talking about whatever I want to. If I want to buy a pair of pants, I'd better save up for it. If I want a coffee, it's coming out of that 20. You know?
But then you don't get the points.
Screw the fucking points.
You can say, what kind of pants are you?
Walmart.
I buy everything. Everything on a credit card to get the points.
Yeah.
I don't pay
I
cash
have
for
thought
anything.
about doing that.
That's
I
what
have thought about doing that, but the nog in me will not give somebody else that interest just because I didn't pay it on the 29th day and it came out on the 31st day.
Oh no. I pay it off
That's what I'm
every
saying.
month.
Yeah.
I have a zero balance on my credit card every month. So, Visa has never made a dime off of me, except the 3% that they charge the merchant. They have never, ever in like 15 years, this current card that I have, in 15 years, I've never paid interest to them. Not once.
I love how we've gone from lower decks to credit card management.
It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, it's what it's like to be a 40-something in America.
Yeah,
that's right.
Exactly.
Dude, I went and saw
Oh,
Candyman
God,
last
you poor
night.
bastard,
The new
dude.
one.
Did you like it?
It was okay. They needed more Tony Todd.
You could always
Yeah,
use
they're
more
better
Tony
now.
Todd.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There's not enough Kern.
That's what I want to see. I want to see a 44-minute animated What Happened to Kern episode.
I want to see some Klingons in Picard.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to see
Yeah.
Klingons in Picard because who
Yeah,
the hell
well,
knows
that's
what
my
they'll
point.
look like.
I want to see what they do. I want to see if they realize what they've done and correct it, or just say fuck it, we're gonna go full stream forward and not give a shit. Like I really want to know.
I mean, the way they are, I would say they're just gonna go fuck
And
it.
part of me would be okay with that at this point. Like, stick to your goddamn guns, then,
Yeah.
and don't. If that's what you want to do, then stick to it. If you don't, then walk away from it and do it now. Like, do it at some point. Make that decision, plant that flag, and say, yeah, we made a mistake, and here you are. This is the obvious. We're back to this, or no, this is what it is moving forward. Whatever.
Well, I sent you guys that picture. They've changed the look of Klingon characters.
Where'd you send this picture to?
An individual one.
Where'd you send the picture?
Remember that picture?
He was on TOS and he played the same. He was a Klingon on TOS. He played the same Klingon on Deep Space Nine, and he didn't have ridges in TOS. He had ridges in Deep Space Nine.
Yeah,
and they kind of cleaned that up with that Enterprise.
And even with
episode.
that's a totally different thing, though. When you go from 1969 and prosthetics at the time and makeup at the time and visual effects at the time to the late 80s, I mean, a whole world of difference between the two, right?
I would disagree, because at the same time of TOS, you had Planet of the Apes, and that was amazing prosthetics. So it's not a question of that. It was budget. It was look.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's a fair enough point. And of course, the original series movies changed the Klingons at that point too, in the movies, even before the. So.
If we're gonna do Star Trek What If, I want the Ghostbusters to show up and take out Dr. Crusher's ghost boyfriend.
Yeah, let's do
cool
crossovers. Let's do crossovers.
I'd be totally cool with that.
You can make a Q timelines What If, right? Which is what we're getting with Picard.
I want the Green Lantern chasing down Q.
They could do that with Picard. Season 2.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds.
Dan likes that answer.
Shows up as a Green Lantern and goes, "What the fuck am I doing here?"
No, it's got to be Jon Stewart, Green Lantern.
All right, I think we've hour and 8 minutes. I think we're good.
Got it. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to
beat
mow
this
the yard
horse to death.
before I get on the plane in the morning.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Yeah, as
Good to
always,
see you.
great
See
show. Make sure you hit us up, trekcasttng@gmail.com. chatiswrong@gmail.com. If you think anything I've said's wrong, it goes there. That's basically the HR complaint department. Send it to me. Then, of course, there's the Instagram, TrekcastTNG. There's the Twitter, Trekcast. And there's the coffee account. Don't forget about the coffee account. Even though we're in between trying to figure out what we're going to do, hoping that the convention is going to happen in April and be to where we can all attend. Finally, God, we've only been trying to do this for, 3 years now? 3 years in December, isn't it? 4?
4.
Something like that.
2018?
I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, 2018.
Yeah.
3 almost 4 years now. So it's been a long road. Anyway.
Getting from there to here.
Long road.
So with that said, we will see you all next week when we review the next episode of Lower Decks. And we will go from there. See ya.
All right, guys.
All right.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Well, there you have it, another episode in the can. Check us out at Trekcast.com. Also, if you would, please subscribe to us via iTunes. Leave those reviews, subscribe to us, we'll get some numbers, get up the list, get more listeners, do more shows, have more fun. But for now, we're all done. So live long and prosper, and we'll see you next week.
You are here because the outside world rejects you. This is your family. I am your father.